Hello from San Antonio, Texas, and the Joint Base Lackland. It's time for game number 2 in the men's 2017 Armed Forces Sports Basketball Championships. Hi, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. This game features the Marines taking on Army. A lot to talk about. Let's start with the starting lineups. We'll start with Army and head coach Captain Carl Little starting at one guard, number 3, specialist Marcus Heath. At another guard, it's number 11, First Lieutenant Kyle Wilson. And at the other guard is number 13, Captain Ella Ellis. Up front today for Army is number 21, Sergeant Roland Alexander, and number 22, Darrell Henderson. So that's the starters for Army. Starters for the Marines today. And head coach Master Gunnery Sergeant Alonzo Higginson. Starting at one guard is number 5, First Lieutenant Kevin Alter. At another guard, it's number 11, Corporal Brian Baptiste. Up front today for the Marines is number 3, Sergeant Montonio Canan. Number 15, Lance Corporal London Lennon. And number 24, Corporal Domenico Jacobs. So that's the starters for both of these teams. Folks, just a word of caution before we start. If you haven't been watching us today, we're streaming in a gym with no internet connection, and we're doing it on a MiFi, and it's been a little hit or miss. Let's put it to put it kindly. So, if the broadcast does go away, we will get it up probably within a minute or so. Just refresh it on your browser or on your mobile device. If you're on like a Roku or Chromecast or something like that, just close out the app and come back in. Apologies in advance for that, folks, but it's the best that we could do, and it's better than nothing. Let's put it that way. So we had some good luck since we made some alterations. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things will go well here for the rest of this evening. So with that out of the way, let's talk about both of these teams. The Marines last year 0-7, and their average margin of loss last year 26.3 points per ball game. They have 6 players back from last year's team. That's most of any team on either the men's or women's side. For Army, they won gold last year. They ended Air Force's 8-year run. They went 7-0 overall in the tournament. And one player to look out for Army is the combo guard/forward, Ella Ellis. Played for the Maine Red Claws in the G League for a couple of games. Also earned himself a tryout with the Washington Wizards. So Ella Ellis is your player to watch for Army. For the Marines, Sergeant Montonio Canan, just under 12 points and 7 rebounds. He's a double-double threat. That was his stats last year in this tournament, so look out for him. It will be a team effort if the Marines are to get it done on any level here in this tournament. For Army, several players have played for Army. Other players have played in colleges like UNC Pembroke, Eastern Carolina, Mississippi Valley State, and Warner. So a lot of players out on the court with prior collegiate experience for Army. And for Navy, they've got some good high school talent on their team. So it'll be interesting to see, even though they have 6 guys back, what some of these new kids can bring to the table. The Marines are in the white with the red, and Army in the black. Glad to be with you wherever you're watching from. We appreciate it as the tip is underway, and the Marines will have it first here in the ball game. Don't forget, folks, we have the live YouTube chat. If you're watching on a laptop or desktop, it's usually pretty easy to chat with us as the Marines Baptiste turns it over via the YouTube chat. It's especially helpful to me. If you're having internet problems, just to let me know that on the chat. Or you just let us know who you're rooting for. We'd love to have you a part of today's action. Well, back-to-back turnovers as the Marines come up with the steal. It was actually saved in by Canan. Into the forecourt, Alter. Near side, Jacobs. Jacobs drives to the bucket and scores. So the Marines getting on the board first as they lead it 2-0. Pass deflected. It's another steal, back-to-back steals for the Marines. Alter gets it back to Jacobs. Jacobs rejected that time by Alexander. Out to Alter for three. Yes. Could not get it to go, and the rebound is controlled by Henderson. On the near side, it's Ellis getting it underneath. Alexander misses it short. Alter into the forecourt. Will scoop it to Baptiste. Right side, Canaan. Cross court, Alter. Lennon in the post, had it rejected by Alexander. Alexander is 7 foot. He is the tallest player in this tournament. And sitting down at court level, you can see how he towers over everybody. 3 ball no good from Ellis. Ella Ellis, as I mentioned, from Houston, Texas, played at Army from 2009 to 2013, over 13 points a game, 42% shooter, 38% from behind the arc, and 3.9 rebounds in 120 games as he gets his team on the board with that three-pointer. 3-2 in favor of Army here in the early going. Chris Shaman, glad to be with you. We will have the Marines and Army ladies to wrap up our first day coverage for you coming up after this game is complete. 3 ball no good by Alter. Another steal, the third for the Marines here today. Baptiste gets it top of the key to Canaan. And it's got to be the hustle. It's got to be the little things, pick and poking, getting the steals. The Marines, the underdogs here in this tournament. Baptiste floats it up, could not get the friendly bounce. Wilson skies it to Ellis. The bounce pass. Open is Henderson, and he scores. 5 straight points for Army here in the early stages of this first half. Jacobs for 3. Followed the shot and cleans it up. So Jacobs has both field goals. And he's already doubled his field goal makes from last year. He hit he hit 2 3-pointers last year. My apologies. Here's Ellis for 3, unable to get it to go, and we have our first whistle of the game. It's going to be a foul on the rebound, and it's going on Army. Early sub for the Marines coming into the ball game, Corporal Sean Stewart. If you're new to this tournament, it's college basketball rules. So we play 2 20-minute halves for the men. Fouls are the same. 7, you're in the 1-and-1. 10 is double bonus. So think of it as a college game, even though a lot of these guys well past their college years. Wilson for 3, yes. And Army with an 8-0 run now. Correction, 8-1. Baptiste. Here's Canaan. Canaan forces it. Missed it long. Offensive rebound by Stewart. And then he throws it over near us, out of bounds. 2 subs for Army. Sergeant Tyron Beal, number 10, and number 25, Staff Sergeant Ernest Hassel coming in. And Corporal Sean Stewart on for, no, I already called him. There's a new sub for the Marines. It's number 12, Sergeant Jordan Johnson. So those are the new players out on the court. 5 minutes into the ball game. Three ball by Johnson, can't get it in the corner. Ball poked away, staying with it is Hassel. Underneath, Ellis no, but follows his shot, gets it to go, and it's a 10-2 run for Army. Timeout by the Marines. We will step aside as well. 14:43 left to go here in the opening quarter. Settle in, folks. The Marines and Army doing work. We'll be right back. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. Marines with the basketball, 10-2 run for Army here in the early stages. And Army leads by 6. Here's Jacobs for the Marines. Johnson now. Jacobs just coming back into the ball game. Has the ball and has it stripped away by Ellis. Into the forecourt now, it's Heath. Bounce passes it to Ellis. Back to Heath. Hassel. Ernest Hassel coming in and getting it to Beal, who banks it off the glass and in. So Beal extending the lead out to 8. Tyron Beal led the United States to CISM Gold in 2015. So he's a veteran. Played at ECU, that's locals to where I'm from, South Carolina, know what that means, but that's Eastern Carolina. He played just 1 year, averaged about 6 points per game, shot 50% in 2005, 2006 before joining the Army. Deep three by Jacobs, in and out, bounces up, no, tip up by Lennon, no, and here comes Army as Heath pulls down the board. Ellis, an air ball. Hassel cleans it up. And Army leading by 10. Alter. Alter turns on the Jets. Bounce passes it out. Baptiste for 3. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound by Lennon and a rocket pass to Baptiste, who misses yet again. Heath guarded by Alter in the man-to-man. Now it's 11 on 11. That's Wilson getting over to Ellis for 3. No. Offensive rebound by Hassel, and it's been second chance opportunities here in the early going for Army. The Marines led it 2-0. Since then, 16-2, the run for Army. Here's a 3, and it's up and good by Johnson. Jordan Johnson from Dallas, Texas, and stationed at Fort Worth. Heath, pass deflected, good defense by Alter. Baptiste to the bucket, it's rejected. Ellis came up with that block, and he brings it into the forecourt. Wilson, pull up, off the mark, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by the Marines, they say. Sergeant Dominic Moody on for the first time for the Marines. Checking back in is Montonio Canan and Corporal Dewan Isaiah also on for the first time for the Marines. Some more subs for Army as well. Specialist Darrell Henderson checking back into the ball game. Also out there is First Lieutenant Philip Brown. He's number 1 on your screen. And number 2 is Specialist Delvin Henderson. And I believe we got everybody. Also number 4, Specialist Marquise Beckton, who goes right to the bucket and scores. 18-7, the lead 11 for Army. Jacobs, Moody, and Moody stepped on the line, they say. So turnover gives the ball back to Army. And if you're the Marines, that's one thing you just can't do. You have to win all of the little things when you're an underdog. That means the turnover margin, the rebounding margin, steals. That tip pass by Brown goes out of bounds, so back-to-back turnovers, and the Marines will get it back. Day 1 of 7. The Marines and Army for the first of 2 meetings. They will meet again on Saturday at 3 p.m. Into the forecourt is Brown. Brown goes right at the lane, scoops it up, no, but he's fouled and will go to the line. That's the second whistle we've had in this first half with 10:57 left to go. Both teams now with a team foul. No, that's the second, excuse me, on the Marines. So Brown at the line, connects on the first. Stationed at Fort Lee in Virginia and from Aberdeen, Maryland. Oh, and Maryland's one of the underrated states. You get outside and there's all kinds of, if you like to be outdoors, Maryland, I'm telling you folks, go visit sometime. Here's Moody. Taking it to the elbow, can't get the bounce. Henderson collects the board. Army going quick, and that's going to be goaltending. Credit the bucket to Beal. Beal, who scored also from Maryland, from the Silver Springs area, which is Baltimore area, I believe. 30-second timeout. We'll go away quickly and come back here in just a moment. Welcome back to San Antonio here at the Joint Base, Lackland. Day 1 of 7 we'll bring to you live. 28 games in all, concluding with the championship next Tuesday. Strong move by Moody, short on the shot, and then pokes it away off the rebound. Nearing the midway point of this first half, Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Again, wherever you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you. Use the YouTube chat, give us a shout. How about that 3-ball by Isaiah? So Isaiah getting on the board. Kansas City, Missouri. DeJuan Isaiah played at Hogan Prep. Here's Moody. Driving baseline, the reverse. The friendly rolls are not so friendly for the Marines here today. Henderson, top of the key, Beckton all day, and he swishes it through. Captain Carl Little's in his 4th year with Army, and this team went 7-0 last year in this tournament. They look strong here. Rimming in that three is Dominique Moody. 25-13. Approaching 9 minutes to go. A little Harlem Globetrotter move there by Brown, who fell down, kept the dribble, and now it's Henderson to Beal for two. 14-point advantage for Army. Beal did not play in the tournament last year, as I mentioned. He led Team USA to CISM Gold in 2015, though, so he's been a part of this team for a while now, and that's going to be an offensive foul called as Becton was out of control. So the Marines are going to bring in a host of new subs as Alter comes back in, also Lennon. And for Army, it's Ernest Hassel coming back into the game. 8:32 left to go here in this opening half. Alter over to Jacobs. Jacobs pulls up from the half circle, and it's short. Here comes Brown and Army. Henderson, turnaround shot, followed it, able to keep the dribble, and they'll set up the offense. Inside 8 minutes now here in this first half. Pretty good crowds have been on hand here. It's not an easy place to get to as Henderson got mugged. And there's not a lot of local products here on either one of these rosters. Jordan Johnson, I believe, is the only player from Texas. He's from Dallas on either roster, although obviously some of these men and women in this tournament stationed all over the place. The interesting thing is, in talking to some of the coaches before the tournament began, they all kind of had the same answer when I asked, how did you pick your team? And a lot of them had to say, it's hard on some of these players because they come in and try out, and some of them have to fly from Japan and Germany and Korea and, all over the world to try out. And, jet lag kicks in, and you don't get, a week to recover. You've got to come in and try out. So it's just kind of an interesting thing. They pretty much all that I communicated with before the tournament said that, we've got a lot of talents, but we kind of have an open tryout regardless of who shows up, just because it's not fair to those people who come all over the world and who are jet lagged not to get a truly fair chance. And, that's something that exists in this kind of a tournament that you don't see really anywhere else in the world. And it's just kind of something interesting to note. Foul was called, so at the line is Kevin Alter. And the free throw is good. Kevin Alter played 4 years at Navy before joining the Marines, 2011 and 2015. He was a leader in the locker room more than on the court at Navy. Was a captain as a senior, averaged just around 2 points per ball game, shot 47%. Another foul on the floor. That's going to be team foul number 4, I believe, on the Marines. 2 on Army. It's been a pretty clean first half. There's a lot of Division I talent in this tournament. Not necessarily a ton of guys that had lit up the stat sheet. More the guys who did the little things. But anytime you have a situation where you're a Division I basketball player, it doesn't really matter. You are good, and you're some of the best in the country. That 3 ball by Hassel was no good, and away from that we have a foul called on the Marines. That's going to be team foul number 5. Jacobs will come back in. Marcus Heath will inbound with a fresh 30. It's it underneath, and putting it up and in is Henderson. So the lead 16 now for Army. Henderson played in the tournament last year, averaged 6.5 points per ball game and 4 rebounds. Shot 37% from the field. So 6:43. There was a clock issue. That's what held us up for a moment there. Alter. Taken away. Good defense by Beckton. Beckton coast to coast, and he's stripped. That's going to go off the Marines, out of bounds, though. And we will stay right where we're at. Updated stats for you. Marines shooting just 19%. They're 5 of 26 overall. 3 out of 11 from behind the arc, though. And Army shooting 46%. Really, it's just shots not going in right now. Army 8 assists on 12 makes. How about that, sharing the basketball? 5 steals for the Marines, though. They played aggressive, and again, that's one of those little things, but they're minus 11 on the boards. 8 offensive rebounds for Army. Army also dominating points in paint, 16-4, and the bench 19-9. Folks here are doing a great job providing stats for this one. It's nice to have it. Sometimes you do smaller college basketball like I do, you don't get much. I feel spoiled here in San Antonio. 6 points for Tyrone Beal off the bench for Army. It's a balanced attack so far for Army. 5 points for Ella Ellis. 10 to shoot, firing it for the Marines. Isaiah can't get it to go. And here comes Army. It's Wilson. Here's Ellis. Now Henderson. Pump and score. The lead is 18 for Army. 33-15. Approaching 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Deep three, Alter, and that hit the scoreboard. Subs are in for Army. It's number 2, Delvin Henderson. Number 10, Tyron Beal. Beal's a 6'9" forward. We haven't seen much of Ronald Alexander. He did start the game. 7-footer, the tallest player in the tournament. Heath guarded by Alter in the man-to-man. Wilson hounded by Baptiste. 12 to shoot. Here's Beal with the bucket in the lane, and again, points in the paint right now for Army. They're up by 20. Baptiste, Alter, Isaiah, pass deflected. Isaiah comes up with it, and no call. Oh boy, Lennon can't believe it. I'm surprised too, a lot of contact, but they've let him play. Henderson strong to the bucket. Looks like he might have had a gripe as well, but I say let him play. This is fun. Let the players decide it. Jacobs. Oh, he almost got that to go. Tricky shot. Ellis the rebound. Turnaround shot. Yes, from Beal. You can see Beal and Ellis forming a good nonverbal relationship out on the court. Timeout again for the Marines, so we will step aside. 3:41 left to go. It's all Army here in the opener on day one. We'll be back here in just a moment. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you here in San Antonio. It's all Army here in the first half, 39-15 over the Marines. I want to give a shout out while I have a moment to Eddie Bird. He is now retired, but formerly of Fort Gordon in Augusta, Georgia, and his semi-pro slash base team, the Fort Gordon slash Augusta Eagles, is the reason why I found out about Armed Forces Sports and why I was able to partner up, and one of the reasons why we have this coverage here for you here today. So shout out to Eddie Bird back in Augusta. I don't think he's watching, but he should be. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too. Offensive foul called on Army, so the Marines get the basketball back. We've had good luck here this evening with the stream, so fingers crossed that will continue. Stewart's come on. That's Corporal Sean Stewart back out there. He's one of those players who came a long way to play in this tournament, stationed in Okinawa in Japan. Shout out to everybody who's watching all over the world. I was never in any of the branches myself. My dad served in Vietnam. He knows Germany very well. He knows how to order beer in German very well. He didn't learn much else of the language when he was stationed over there. So, ich bin ein Bier to everybody who might be watching in Germany, courtesy of my dad. Here's Heath, driving right at a lane, cut off, swings it out to Wilson, top of the key. Heath from way downtown rims it in. Army rolling 42-17. Marcus Heath played at UNC Pembroke as a senior, averaging 14 points per game in limited time. Last year in this tournament, as I mentioned, he averaged 6.6 points per ball game, had 32 assists as well in those 7 games for Army, winning the gold. He tries it again, not that time, on the pull-up. Here's Jacobs into the forecourt. Left wing Baptiste. 1:56 left to go. We have a foul on Army. That will be their 5th. Both teams with 5. As I mentioned, it's been a clean first half. Jordan Johnson back out there for the Marines. Phillip Brown for Army. Here's Alter, guarded by Brown. Baptiste. Here's Jacobs for 3. The rainbow shot off the back of the rim, and it's last touch by Army. So we will stay on this side of the court. Pass almost taken away. Jacobs stays with it, and then it is stolen away by Henderson. Alley-oop to Henderson, puts it up and in. It was awkward looking from Brown to Henderson, but an assist is an assist. That's all it shows up as in the stat column. Nice cut, Alter, swings it out Jacobs. Here's Baptiste for 3. Beal the rebound. And here comes Army. Look, Brown swings it out, corner 3, Wilson, too strong. And it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by the Marines. London Lennon coming back in. He's from Hartford, Connecticut, played at Prince Rupert High School, which was ranked highly in Connecticut his senior year. Good program up there. Another timeout will go away. As we close out the first half, we'll be right back. Welcome back out of the timeout. Army with possession with 1:08 left to go here in the first half. Beal, it's it to Brown, and that passes off the mark. Good defense there to thwart the pass intended for Henderson. Alter for three. No good, but Baptiste cleans it up, not on the first effort, but on the second. And a much-needed field goal for the Marines, 44-19. Brown is rejected. Nice block by Lennon. Lennon at 6'6", but he's got long arms. Oh, trying to dunk it, getting stuffed by the rim was Jacobs. Shot clock is off, so Army can hold for the final shot of this first half that they have dominated. Ella Ellis hasn't really been a big factor. It's been a team effort, balanced scoring for Army here in this first 20. 5 seconds now, 3 ball no good. Offensive rebound by Henderson. He's blocked, but fouled as the clock hits 0. I believe we'll have free throws, and then we'll see if they adjust the clock. So it'll be 0.5 on the clock. So Henderson goes to the line. Delvin, Fresno, California. He's stationed at Fort Hood in Texas. Henderson, 6.5 points per ball game, 4 rebounds last year. Army and the Marines. Everybody plays every day in this tournament. It's going to be interesting once we get around Sunday night into Monday, see what kind of legs these guys have, men and women. They're in better shape than I am, though, so they should be okay. As the first half comes to an end, it's all Army. 45-19. Folks, we'll go away. We'll come back in about 10-15 minutes and bring you the second half here in just a little bit. And we welcome you back to San Antonio, Texas at the Joint Base, Lackland. Appreciate glad to be back with you. All Army after 20 minutes of play, 45-19. Army 26-8 points in the paint, 28-9 points off the bench. And those are the two keys. Army shoots 49% in the first half. The Marines just 7 out of 39 and 18%. Leading scorer in the ball game is Tyrone Beal, lone player in double figures, 5 out of 6 shooting for Beal off the bench for Army with 10 points. 7 points for Delvin Henderson for Army and 6 for Henderson. Darrell Henderson, excuse me. So Delvin with 7, Darrell with 6. And those are your leading scorers. Henderson's got 7 and 7, so on his way to a double-double. Leading scorer in the first half for the Marines is Domenico Jacobs. Number 24 is 3 out of 10 for 6 points, 5 rebounds in the ball game. So that's your first half numbers, folks. The rebounding plus 13 for Army, 32-19. Army, as I mentioned in the first half, unbeaten in this tournament last year. They went 7-0 en route to gold. Alter for 3, can't get it to go. And it's been a lot of shots like that for the Marines today. You know, today doesn't look like it's going to be their day, but they should go in knowing that, you know, that's the first shot that has rimmed in. The rims have not been friendly to the Marines is the point that I'm trying to make, and doing it as long-windedly as possible. So 50-24. Folks, if we get inside 10 minutes and the score is still heavily in favor of Army, we will cut the audio as Wilson gets to the bucket and scores. Trying to save my voice for 28 games in 7 days. Offensive foul is the call there. So we'll go back in the other direction. Shaken up on the play is Alexander. Ronald Alexander, who played at Mississippi Valley State from 2002 to 2007. And the tallest player in the tournament is limping right now off the court. Hopefully he'll be okay. Don't forget, folks, the women's version of this game coming up 20 minutes after we're done here, or at 7 p.m. or 1900 hours. Darrell Henderson to inbound. Full court press being shown by the Marines. It's Wilson now. Here's Heath. Beal swings it to Ellis. Ellis strong to the bucket. Extra pass out to Heath for 3. Short on that one. Kanan the rebound. And the ball poked away out of bounds off the Army. So one more game for you tonight. Earlier today, the Air Force convincing over Navy 113-97. And on the women's side, Navy routed Air Force 91-63. Air Force had an 8-year run in this tournament, stopped last year by this Army squad. Can they go back-to-back? Will it be the Air Force? Can Navy come back from today's disappointing result? We've got 7 days to figure it all out, folks, and each team will play each other twice here in the round robin. Stepping into a 3 is Heath. Can't get it to go. Kanan the rebound, and it's taken away. Good steal by Henderson, but too strong on the layup attempt. Alter. Here's Kanan in the corner. Short on the 3, followed his shot. Those are the little things that the Marines have done here today. They cannot get shots to fall with any kind of consistency. I mean, if they would be at 30% shooting right now, they'd be in this game. El Ellis with the triple. As it is right now, they're under 20%. And, I mean, there's just nothing you can do when you're shooting that badly. And, again, that shot by Alter, it's on point. It's just a little bit long. Some of them have been a little bit short. They're not missing bad shots. They're taking good shots, and they're close. It's just not going in today. Ellis had it poked away. They played good defense, getting a lot of steals. Kanan coming up with the pick that time. Here's Jacobs. Baptiste. Got it to go. And credit Army's defense. I mean, you see that shot. That was not an easy shot that Baptiste got to go. And that's the reason why, partly, Army has this big advantage. They played great defense here tonight. Ella Ellis, extra pass, unselfish play. Ellis and Beal hooking up yet again, and the lead is 31. Kanan. Now Baptiste. The Marines taking on Navy tomorrow at 5. Army takes on the Air Force, and that'll start the day tomorrow at 1 p.m. Ernest Hassel checking in. Darrell Henderson sitting down. Heath also out as Philip Brown comes back into the game. Montonio Kanan averaging nearly 12 points per ball game and 7 rebounds in this tournament last year. Dominique Moody off the bench with a triple. Here's Brown. Over to Ellis. Ellis from the elbow. Off the back of the rim. Rebound to Lennon. Here come the Marines. Isaiah. Now Moody. Isaiah back to him. 10 to shoot. Moody with the baseline jumper, missed it long. Wilson with the rebound. And a foul is called. That will be on Kanan. And we will have a timeout. Timeout on the court. We'll step aside. 14:10 left to go. All Army here in game number 3. Back to live action with 14 minutes left to go. 59 to 29. Army leads by 30. Updated stats for you. Tyrone Beal now with 12 points. Ellis has 8, as does Heath. Everybody except for Ronald Alexander has scored for Army. as it's been a balanced attack. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 players with 7 or more points. As Army bringing in Staff Sergeant Sean Hacksaw for the first time here today. So emptying the bench just a little bit is Coach Little. And again, if we get to the next time out, and this game's still well in control of Army, I'm going to shut the broadcast down. I know, it's sad you won't get to hear the sound of my voice, but believe me, you're going to hear it enough over the next 7 days to be sick and tired of it. How about Tyron Beal? Led Team USA to SISM Gold back in 2015. He didn't play in the tournament last year. He's come in, not miss a beat, leading all scorers now with 14. By the way, the Marines shooting 22% in the game, and Army shooting 50%. Beal called for the foul. Both teams with 2 team fouls. Jordan Johnson back in for the Marines. Sean Stewart also back out there. Set the 5 on the floor for you. Marquise Beckton for Army out there with Tyron Beal. Also, Jamal Thomas coming in for the first time. Sergeant Thomas wearing number 15 in black. Ernest Hassel also out there. And I believe Hacksaw is the only one I didn't mention yet for Army. For the Marines, it's Isaiah. Also Lennon. Sean Stewart wearing number 21. Dominique Moody wearing number 1. And Jordan Johnson, who just came in, who almost poked that away. Thomas open 3, yes. Everybody is in the stat column tonight for Army. They are looking like a well-oiled machine. That 3 a little bit long for Johnson. Thomas brings it into the forecourt. Turnaround shot by Beal, not that time. Stewart with the rebound. Stewart off the side of the rim. Hassel. Thomas into the forecourt. Bounce pass to the cutter. Nice find and cut. Beckton with the nice cut and bucket. And the lead is 35 for Army. Again, these 2 teams will meet again on Saturday at 3 p.m. Moody bounce passes it to Stewart. Hesitates, then goes to Johnson for 3. Off the back of the rim. Rebound controlled by Beal. Here's Hacksaw trying to get on the board. Just a little bit short. Moody. Approaching 11 minutes left to go in the ball game. Army on their way to an opening day victory. Trying to draw the foul was Moody, out of control. Offensive rebound to the Marines. Isaiah for 3, yes. Turnaround shot over 2 defenders. Beal gets it to go. Tyron Beal has been a pleasant surprise off the bench for Carl Little here today. Of course, he's been a good player for Army for a while now. Nice strong move to the bucket by Lennon. So 68 to 36. Approaching 10 minutes left to go. Nice defense. Take it to the hoop, young man. Oh, Moody couldn't get it to go. It was blocked. Unable to follow was Johnson. And in transition, it's Hassel. Into the forecourt, it's Johnson. Three ball by Isaiah is too strong. Hacksaw for three. Yes. So now everybody who has played, I believe except for Ronald Alexander, has scored for Army. We're going to get a timeout. Sergeant Michael Morales coming in for the first time. Montaño Canan will also come in. But we're going to cut the audio from this point forward, folks. 74-36, the correct score on your screen with Army in control. Folks, we're going to go away, but we will keep the video for you going until the end.